Yo, we just people from the north side. Once the Timmy's hit the shore fine. Winter ready on the four ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host, your boy, George Mackay, and I got a good one. I'm sitting down with someone I've been keeping my eye on for the last couple of months. She is a fantastic talent, and I am so excited to have her on the show. Please help me welcome for the first time, not the last, Airica Demia. How are you?
I am doing pretty good. Voice is terrible, but so it happens with wrestling sometimes.
100%. We were just talking before I push record about how you literally had a weekend of shows, and you said this is one of the best weekends you've had so far in your career. So I guess that's my first question. Let's touch on that. How crazy awesome was this weekend, and what made you feel that this was one of the best weekends you've had in pro wrestling so far?
So especially mentally, it was just a very fulfilling weekend. I watched my matches back and I was like able to see some of the progress that I've made, that I've been working really hard for lately. Like, something that I struggle with is including the crowd in my matches and making sure I communicate with them and I give them opportunities to react to what we're doing. But I feel like I did pretty good about that this weekend, give or take a few moments or so.
Nice. I love that. I love that. So your character is very obviously anime inspired. I can see that from all the anime drawings behind you. You've also got some Lord of the Rings there, which is phenomenal because who doesn't love the Lord of the Rings? Mm-hmm. I am a Hobbit guy myself. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the trilogy, but I do love
the Hobbit.
The Hobbit rocks. The Hobbit rocks. And I'm not don't get me wrong. I love the Peter Jackson films, but I don't know. When I read The Hobbit, I see it a little different than the way it was told, but hey, that's just me.
I actually have the book sitting right over there.
So. Yeah, I've got my trilogy somewhere here I've got my trilogy from back when I was younger, okay, with highlighted passages, because at one point I'm like, I want to make this a stage play. I want to take this on the road. And then I was like 13 and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, girls are so much more cooler than The Hobbit. I have to put that down for
a second. I can see that. I've never really been the type to, so when I was in high school, I was never really interested in like dating or anything because wrestling has been my life. So can't relate on that front, but I get
it. So wrestling has been your life, your obsession for a long time. And then you decide to incorporate wrestling into your life and you create this incredible character from the look, the feel, the vibes, the makeup, even the promos. She's intriguing. And the great thing about incorporating, I guess, all the things you love, like anime and like pro wrestling, incorporating them together to create this hero that we have in our midst. But there's a character with layers because every anime character at one point or another has crossroads. They decide if they're going to stay, straight and narrow, or are we going to veer off for a little bit and then come back? Kind of like what John Cena's doing right now. John Cena's, he's pissed off at all of us. We've ruined him for 25 years. I don't know about you, but he broke up with me. I was heartbroken. Yeah. I was eating ice cream for like 2 days. I was like, man, I can't believe John Cena dumped me. It's incredible. But when you look at the way the vibes can go depending on how you want to take this character and how much you want to develop her, level her up, Super Saiyan her up, if you will. Where do you see Airica's journey going? Are we peaking and we valleying? Are we veering off course at some point? Do you have plans for the future for Airica?
Honestly, as I've gotten older, I've just kind of been going with the flow of how my real life has been going. When I was like 14 and I first came up with the character, obviously I played into the more wholesome side of it because I wasn't really interested in anything like not wholesome. And the character that my character is based off of, Deku from My Hero Academia, he's a very wholesome character in and of himself. But lately I've been embracing the more, I don't know how to phrase it, the more risque, not really risque, but the sex sells side of the anime stuff because, I'm 20 years old now. I feel like it's more so okay. Now, when I'm doing stuff like when my dad's managing me, I kind of tone it down a little bit just because it's my dad, you get it. But I've been trying to embrace that side of me, like being a human being, just getting older, and a lot of anime characters are portrayed that way anyways. So I'm kind of trying really hard to embrace it and not, oh my God, my bangs are insane right now. Sorry.
That's okay. My forehead's insane as I get older. So we're in the same ballpark. It's really the same thing.
Right. But yeah, I'm just trying to embrace that side of it while still keeping the heroic side. Like I want to play it wholesome for kids, but obviously there's some people who are gonna be like, hey, you got any spicy stuff? And I'm like, I mean, I got some, nothing too crazy, but I have it. So playing both sides of the coins and just going with the flow as far as how I feel my character should be acting. I don't really have plans for it. I'm just kind of feeling it out as I go because I try to plan too much in general, and I'm trying to calm down with that. It's anxiety, I know, but still, I'm trying to go with the flow.
Listen, let me tell you about anxiety, okay? I've had anxiety my whole life, didn't even know it, was undiagnosed until I was 37.
Oh my goodness.
And it manifested itself. I hit a brick wall. I've experienced some peaks and valleys the last couple of years as well, trying to fight the good fight. And you know, it's weird when we say, oh, you know, we're in a world where we can be open about mental health and we can talk about mental health. It still feels like there's this huge stigma around it because the minute you start opening up, people are like, oh, you've got a thing? Oh, you've got a thing? Oh, no. Oh, okay. I'm going to leave now. I'm going to go back over here where there's people over here that may not have a thing, but everybody's got a thing. And I feel like even in this day and age, when you say, hey, I've got something, I'm dealing with something, I'm struggling with something, people, not all people, but some people are still unreceptive. Do you feel like that when it comes to the mental health challenges?
Yeah, there's also a lot of people who are like, oh, everybody has a little bit of that. Like, yes, everybody has a little bit of that, but this is an imbalance. This is a actual issue within the brain. Like everybody has certain characteristics from disorders, but the people with the disorders have it worse and constantly. That's the issue.
I wish people would see that and recognize that. But hey, at least you and I can recognize that. So I love
psychology too. So that helps.
There you go. Perfect. We're in the same wavelength. I didn't take psychology, but I do love reading as much as I can about the brain and the functions and so much. There's so much stuff that we still have yet to discover about the human brain and what it can do. But you mentioned that the character is growing up with you. So as you grow up, the character grows up, and you don't want to plan too much for the future because if you plan too much, things fall apart. So we'll keep it on the straight and narrow. But right now, I believe you still are the VPW champion, correct? Am I right on that in my research?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. Thank God the internet did not screw me today.
That happens a lot.
It does.
So many things wrong. It's not even funny.
You don't even want to know. There's so many times that I try to research, and it's hard trying to research indie talent because there's not a whole lot of information. And then when you find the information, I always have to ask. I'll be like, so I know you had a match this weekend. Did you win? Well, it's not posted yet. Okay, but did you win? Because if you won, then I could still call you the champion. But if you didn't win, then I can't call you the champion. But it's not posted yet, so I still can't. I'm just going to say you are. Because I don't know what the situation is.
It's like, you don't want to spread misinformation. I can show you.
I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the person that spreads misinformation.
Exactly. Here's my belt. This is a heavy one too.
Well, that's why I was hoping that you're still a champ. Because look at that. That thing's got to weigh what? Got to say close to 10 pounds, right?
Close.
Yeah. So you are still the VPW champion. You're still repping that big, beautiful gold belt.
Yes.
And you're doing it with style and charisma. And when you are told, when you get told by a promoter, hey, listen, here you go, champ, it's you. You're the mountaintop. You are what we're going to focus our entire division around is you. Do you feel that extra added pressure that comes with being the title holder?
Yeah, I do. I feel like the biggest one I felt the pressure. Hold on, I have two others. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I also have the Intergender Bonanza Super Championships, which technically speaking has Stan Styles' face on it, but mine is taped over it because my face is prettier. Sorry, Stan. No, I'm not. He deserves it. Anyways, and then I have the Hooligan. Ow. Then I have the Hooligan Championship Wrestling women's title. I feel like the most pressure I feel is probably with the Hooligan one because I feel like I haven't fully paid my dues with them yet, if that makes sense. The guy that books it is a big fan of mine and we're really, really great friends. but there's also, I'm not saying I don't put in work, because I do. I work very, very hard. And like, I don't want to make it seem like I don't. But that promotion hasn't been around for very long. The last person that held the belt didn't get to hold it for very long. And it's a lot of pressure. I feel bad. But also, if that's what he thinks is best for his company, then I'm going to do my best to stand in that role in the way he needs me to. It's a lot of pressure. But I'm doing it.
Yes, you are. You're doing a fantastic job. Like I said, I've watched the promos, I've watched some of the matches, I've watched the development, and it's astonishing to see how far you've come in a 2-year span. Like I said, you started training when you were 18, you're now 20. This character has grown with you, but you knew you wanted to be a pro wrestler since you could walk. So this was just a natural thing. That was the progression of who you are. So now when you say your dad manages you, this is so cool, because I've never been able to, I guess, get the whole father-daughter dynamic in terms of pro wrestling. My daughter used to host a podcast with me, but now she's 16, friends in high school and fashion and all that stuff's way more cooler than pro wrestling. And I get it. But we had that together, and now we're still close, but we're not as close as we used to be because we had that together. But when you and your dad get to go out and literally play dress up, you get to play dress up. You get to mock fans if your dad chooses to. You get to brace fans. You get to do what's necessary for the good of the promotion that you're working for. I mean, how much fun is that? When dad gets to manage you and you get to roll out there with Pops, that's got to be cool, right?
It is honestly one of the coolest things ever. He very much helps me feel better in my own skin. Like, sometimes when I'm on my own, I'm a little quieter. I'm a little more self-conscious. But when my dad's with me, he plays such a freaking, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Larger than life. He plays such a larger than life character that I feel normal. You know what I mean? Even though my character isn't normal, he very much has a weird kind of kooky character, kind of like Yoda with Luke Skywalker. That's what he is for me. He's the kind of kooky, crazy old guy. Except my dad's not old. He's only 41. He's not old.
I was going to say, I'm 42, man. I'm your dad's age now. Like, what the hell? Don't say old. Don't throw. Listen,
No, I mean,
we're in our 40s. It's hard. It's hard. We don't want to hear that word. We're in the in-betweens.
In-betweens.
We're in the in-betweens. So when, you got a collection of belts there, and that means promotion is starting to take notice, and they're starting to recognize your ability and your talent. And that probably leads to other opportunities. So is there any other promotion that you haven't tapped into yet that you want to tap into? Like, are there areas of the States that you haven't hit yet that you're definitely looking forward to branching out and going to?
There's quite a few, actually. There's a lot of places I want to go. I couldn't tell you all of them off of the top of my head. I can tell you one state that I want to wrestle in that I haven't gotten to yet, Texas. I really want to wrestle in Texas. I've wrestled in 16 states so far. Two of them being part of my big 3 states, which are California, New York, and Texas.
Okay.
But yeah, I really, really want to wrestle in Texas. I've been trying to figure it out for a long time. Anytime I have a promotion reach out, I'm like, okay, but are they going to cover a flight? Are they going to cover a hotel? Are they going to let me bring my dad with me? There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but yeah, Texas. There's plenty of promotions that I really, really want to work for. But I cannot think of them off the top of my head. I know, okay. I think Limitless is one of them.
Amazing promotion.
Limitless and Chaotic. Those are 2 off the top of my head that I can think of that aren't like places you would get signed to, or MLW even. I would like to work for MLW. That'd be cool.
I was just going to say, you definitely do have a great look for MLW, and you could have some banger matches with that roster over there. 100%.
GCW too. I would love to work for GCW. That one I know is pretty hard to get into.
Yeah, you definitely got to pay your dues for GCW, but when you do get in there, it's quite the promotion to be a part of. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I know quite a few people that get booked there regularly. I'm really hoping that I can get booked at some point. I'm not going to ask them to put in a word for me because I don't want to go in thinking that I didn't do the work myself. Mm-hmm. But, make it a little easier. But I don't want to take the easy road out.
No, because if you did, that wouldn't be a pro wrestling journey, right? Pro wrestling is filled with nothing that's easy. And if you do get it easy, then it just makes it too easy.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it really is just right place, right time. You got to know the right people. The only reason I got booked at Combat Zone Wrestling was because somebody called out, and I just happened to stop by and help them set up their ring because I was on the way home from somewhere else. So I got lucky with that one, and then I'm pretty sure I got bookings from that. So.
You know what they always say? There's 2 rules that I've learned from any independent wrestler that I've talked to, any professional wrestler that I've talked to. Always be prepared for the unexpected, and always bring your gear with you everywhere.
Yes, everywhere you go. Every time you're at a new promotion, whether you're just there to help set up, just there to take your friend with you, always bring your gear.
Yep. And don't be afraid to lend a hand, and don't be afraid to take those opportunities. When somebody says, hey, we had a wrestler call out, anybody available? Right here. I am good.
I'm available. I have my gear in my car. And then it could also be a case of like, they'll appreciate you so much that they'll owe you one, and then they'll bring you back, and then continue to bring you back, and then you have a working relationship. Boom.
Boom.
It's win-win for everybody.
I'm telling you, at 20 years old, you got this all figured out. You're ready. You're good. You are good.
It's my dad, my trainer, a lot of my friends that are older than me feeding me knowledge. And I work with a lot of people who have been doing this for a long time. So I just kind of soak up as much knowledge as I can.
Well, I got to tell you, you've got the media stuff down because you're cooking with gasoline here. Because every time I'm trying to segue, you're already segue. I was just going to talk about that. Soaking up the knowledge. Soaking up the knowledge is very, very important in professional wrestling, even from the interview standpoint. Like, this is not my first interview. This is probably close to my 450th to maybe 500th interview. I've done a lot over 10 years, and I've talked to some amazing people. And it's been a great ride. And I'm trying to kind of hit those bucket list names as I get to the taper to the end. And I decide if I want to keep going with this thing for another 10 years or if I want to wrap it up. I'm not 100% sure yet. But when you get the ability to soak up knowledge, pick brains of people who have been doing it longer, or even working on a show with a legend, I'm sure you take those opportunities to even ask 1 question or 2 questions. But what is one of the most valuable pieces of information you've learned in your young career from one of those veterans?
I have a terrible memory. I might have to come back to that question. I don't know the most important.
Well, what's one piece of advice that you maybe remember? It may not be the most important to everyone, but it could be the most important to you. I mean, other than the bringing your gear in your car and always taking the opportunities, I guess those would be the 2 most important pieces of information that you've learned.
I'm gonna have to come back to that one.
Okay, fair enough. Let's switch gears for a second here. Women's wrestling right now is at the mecca, the forefront of professional wrestling. It is literally equal or the main event, or exceeding in some ways the main events in a lot of promotions. What's it feel like to be in that era where we're not evolving, we are changing the entire landscape? The evolution already happened. The revolution already happened. Now we are literally just changing the landscape. Instead of working towards more, you're getting more. Instead of, looking for opportunities, the opportunities are there. You just have to take them. What is it like being a young professional wrestler in this day and age where you could be the opener of the show one night and come back to be the main event the next night because it's just women's wrestling is just that hot right now?
So most of the time, places that I work are absolutely fantastic. Like, it's really nice to be appreciated by more people. I feel like the biggest thing that women struggle with are the fans telling you that you, like, just because you have an intergender match, you're ruining women's wrestling. That is not true, because women are legitimate competitors just like men are. Whether you're in professional wrestling, you're in UFC, you're in boxing, it doesn't matter. You are a legitimate athlete, and you should be able to compete just as well as the men can. And just because you compete with a man does not make you less of a women's wrestler. That is the biggest thing that, like, upsets me as far as stuff like that. I've never had a promoter. I've had promoters tell me they don't like intergender wrestling on their shows. That's completely fine. If you don't think that's best for your show, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, because you're not. But saying that it's not legitimate or it looks fake because it's a woman and a man, there's ways to get around that. There's ways to make it look more legitimate, you know? And it is really nice. Most people I have worked for, especially lately, have been like, no, you're competitors. You're equal to the men. And we're gonna make sure that this crowd knows that. We're gonna make sure that the people around you know it. We're gonna make sure that people in the locker room know it. And now I'm sure there are some places that still don't have that ideal. But I don't work there for that reason. So it's really, I feel I'm very happy that I came up in the era of wrestling that I did, because I know when my dad was coming up in wrestling, women's wrestling was not respected at all. And there's so many women that have put an effort to pave the way for new women like me. And I'm doing my best to pave the way for like the other women in my academy right now, to make sure that they can get the spots that they deserve when they come out. Because I had to work really, really hard to get everything that I have. And I want to make sure they respect them the way that they respect me without them going through all the crap. You know what I mean? Everything's always evolving. Everything's always like, we're always working towards something better, because it's never going to be perfect. And there's always someone who's like, nah, y'all aren't as important. But luckily, I think a lot of us have worked hard enough to keep that from happening on the bigger stages, and to keep that from happening to women who are coming up after us. You know what I mean?
I absolutely do. And you know what? It's great to see somebody as young as you are in this business and in life, understanding the role that you have to take in this business, and understanding that, yeah, there were women before you that paved the way. You're currently continuing to add pavement to that way. And there are going to be women coming up after you. You know, there's going to be a little girl someday at some promotion that's going to be in that crowd, that's going to look at you, and you're going to change her life just like one of those wrestlers changed yours. And you're going to be the ultimate reason that there's going to be a young lady or a young guy that steps through those ropes one day because they saw you and fell in love with the sport. When you hear something like that, is it like, damn, that's pressure? That's a lot of pressure, George. Why you got to throw stuff like that out?
Honestly, I don't really feel pressure when I hear something like that. I feel, because that's exactly what I want from my career. I want to inspire people to chase dreams. I want to inspire people to even just get out of bed in the morning, you know, because it's hard, especially if you do have any kind of mental illness or mental issues of any kind. It's difficult. I have ADHD and I have anxiety, and I struggle to deal with both of those things. And the more I hear people talk about it, people that I look up to, it gets easier for me to be like, okay, so this is okay for me to feel this way sometimes, as long as I don't let it hold me back. That's what I want to put out to other people. So if I can inspire somebody to become a professional wrestler and not listen to other people telling them they can't do it, that's all I want. Well, other than my selfish of, I want to make it in wrestling, I want to be the most well-known. But like, that's one of my biggest goals.
I love that. I love that. And you know what? It takes a strong person to talk about their mental health struggles, and it takes a strong person to recognize them, and it takes a strong person to fight every day. Listen, like I said, my stuff went undiagnosed. I had ADHD. I'm old school, okay? There was no H in my time. I'm ADD, all right? I'm ADD. And, you know, that was diagnosed early on, but my parents didn't want to put me on medication. So I was able to kind of cope and learn through like natural ways. But the anxiety was always there, and it went undiagnosed for such a long time. And now at the age of 4 years old, I'm learning to deal with and learning to live with it, because like I said, I had a breaking point 5-6 years ago, and every day is a challenge. I woke up this morning and I was like, damn, it's Tuesday. Life sucks. But now I'm here and I'm talking to you. So it's not a bad way to end the Tuesday. That's for sure. That's for sure. Now, for the big question, we're almost halfway, give or take. We're 4 months into 2025. And I'm sure you've got some short-term goals that you'd like to achieve before the end of this year. So I'm assuming, obviously, wrestling in Texas is definitely one of them. But I know that you're a dreamer, and dreamers are exciting. They're great people to be around. I know for sure that your short-term goal, I mean, obviously long-term goal would probably be Japan. That has definitely got to be on your mind. Wrestling over there. Tokyo Joshi Pro, Noah, Dragon's Gate, New Japan, All Japan. For your character, for what you can do, it's like it's a pro wrestler's dream if they are an anime inspired character. So when you know that now as you develop more in your career, things like this could become more possible. Could be 6 months from now, could be 2 years from now, could be 5 years from now. But one day you might be able to touch down in Japan and wrestle over there. Something like that's definitely got to be one of your major goals that you have in your sights, correct?
Absolutely. Like my long term, like I don't want to say end goal because obviously I'm going to have new goals if and when I get there. I want to get a contract, preferably so obviously the first promotion that crosses everyone's minds when they think about a contract is WWE. I would absolutely love to work there. There's so many places that look, if someone offered me a contract and it was worth it and didn't cause any issues, if that makes sense, I will 100% take it. I would love to be signed. But yes, I would love to go to Japan. Japan is one of my biggest goals. Honestly, traveling the world. But being an anime fan, being someone who loves Nintendo and Japanese video games, JRPGs, I would love to wrestle in Japan. Also, for the excuse that I can visit the Nintendo Museum that opened up recently, I would absolutely love that. I also want to be able to take my parents to Japan too, because they grew up watching anime. Well, kind of grew up. I guess they were teenagers watching anime, but still close enough. They've always played Nintendo games. Like I want to get to a point where I can take them with me. Sorry, I just threw my pen across the room.
That's okay. Listen, I'm a Nintendo kid. My kids play Nintendo. We Mario Partied up all the time. Okay. My wife, my kids, and I will Mario Party. Now, I'm not going to brag, but I always win because I'm awesome. I'm really good at Nintendo games. Mario Kart, you can't touch me on. You can't touch me in Mario Party, like I said. Now, I'm assuming you've played both of these games, Mario Kart and Party. And I'm assuming being a Nintendo kid yourself, you have a strategy to these games. You have characters that you are your go-tos. So when you're rocking out Mario Kart, who's your go-to? I'm interested. Who are you playing? If you and I were going to play Mario Kart, who are you choosing?
Mario Kart, probably Yoshi. I usually choose Yoshi or Toad.
Okay. I am I like the little camera dude, Lakari or Lakii or whatever his name is. I like the little turtle with glasses. He's light and he's fine. No problem. Boo. Boo weighs nothing. If you're going around those sharp turns and you're drifting, Boo is the best. Weighs nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it. That's it. It's factual. And then, of course, if you're playing Mario Party, I mean, for me, it's Donkey Kong all the way. Why? Because he's got huge hands and he takes up a lot of space. So when you're going for coins, it's easy money.
That's valid. I haven't played Mario Party since Mario Party 8.
Oh, you got to get into it. Mario Party Jamboree on the Switch is life-changing. Life-changing. You got to get into that. I'm telling you. Mario Party Jamboree, we can't play it in our house, okay? My wife hasn't talked to me for 3 days because last time I beat her in Mario Party Jamboree, she got so upset. I'm not speaking with you. That's fine. Listen, Nintendo can bring relationships together, but can also ruin relationships, especially when your wife is competitive. I'm not competitive. I just always win. That's the difference. I just always win. And now my final question before I let you go enjoy the rest of your evening. When it comes to being someone who's paving the way for future generations, being someone who's open to discussing mental health, and being someone whose character is evolving as she gets older in life and in this business, what is one thing that you take away from your journey so far? Out of the 2 years that you've been in this business, helping to pave the way, getting bookings, getting opportunities, developing your craft, what is one thing that you can say that you really hold dear in your heart in this very young journey that you're on?
This is actually a quote that I have written on my whiteboard right now. Hard work succeeds before talent if talent doesn't work hard. I did not start out this journey talented at all. Like I had the drive, I had like the understanding of it, but I was not athletic. And I'm a quick learner for somebody who has a learning disability. And I am very good at taking in information. And like, I always have a notebook with me. I'm always willing to be like, hey, do you have any critiques? Even if you think it's mean, please tell me. I'm going to write it down. Even if I cry about it, I'm still going to take it in and I will use it to make me better. And it's okay to be sensitive too. It's okay to be a sensitive human being, just as long as you don't use that as an excuse to like not get better, if that makes sense. I'm always like, I've gotten a lot better about it, about being sensitive, but I am still very, very much a sensitive human being. And my dad is, you know, a dad. Like, he's got his ways of telling me things. Sometimes it doesn't make me feel great about myself, but in the long run, it helps me get better. So that's all that really matters. Just constantly putting in the work. And I'm trying to do better about thinking about wrestling and like watching wrestling and studying and working on the things that I need to outside of the ring too, because that's the only way that I'm really gonna get better. And if you're thinking about getting into wrestling for anybody, then you need to do that too. You don't have to start off talented. You just have to be willing to learn.
I love that. That's a dope way to end this conversation. Airica Demia, thank you so much for joining me here on Straight Talk Wrestling. And where could everyone keep up on your journey that is your journey?
The easiest way to find me is to Google my name, because I have a different name on every platform.
Does.
If anything, I can send you screenshots of my tags and you can put them in the description or whatever you do.
I got you. Don't worry about that. I already got that all taken care of. I got you. I follow you on all platforms, so it's all good in the hood. Don't worry about that.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm going to enjoy watching your journey progress. I'm going to enjoy watching you eventually have your name up there in bright, shiny lights. And I'm going to enjoy watching you as a fan, because you are very, very talented. You got a great character, great look, and you are humble. And mom and dad have done a fantastic job. So if mom and dad, pass this on to them. Tell them they got a kick-ass daughter, and she's pretty awesome.
Gotcha. I'll write that down.
All right, perfect.
If anything, I will just send them that clip when it comes out.
Perfect. Absolutely wonderful. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this one. It was short and sweet and simple, but I loved the conversations that we had. Thank you, my guest, Airica Demia. Thank you so much for coming to Straight Talk Wrestling. Peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Yo, we just people from the north side. Once the Timmy's hit the shorefine, winter ready on the full ties. Heavy traffic on 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every